Welcome to Literary Lens, the podcast where we dive deep into the craft of storytelling. I'm Maya, and today we're exploring one of my favorite topics: how authors use their toolkit of structural choices, punctuation, and language techniques to create unforgettable character voices and keep us on the edge of our seats.
And I'm Jordan. Maya, I have to say, this topic really opened my eyes when I started paying attention to it. It's like discovering the secret machinery behind the magic trick, you know?
Exactly. Let's start with character voice because it's something readers feel immediately, even if they can't always explain why. Think about it. You can probably tell the difference between how Hermione Granger speaks versus how Ron Weasley speaks, right? That's not just about the words they use, but how authors structure their dialogue.
Right, and punctuation plays a huge role in this. Take ellipses, for example. When a character says, "I don't know, maybe we shouldn't," versus, "I don't know, maybe we shouldn't," the first character seems hesitant and uncertain, while the second sounds more decisive or even panicked.
Perfect example. Those three little dots, the ellipsis, can completely change how we hear a character's voice in our heads. It might suggest nervousness, trailing thoughts, or even something ominous being left unsaid. Authors use this technique to make us fill in the emotional gaps.
And speaking of ominous, let's talk about how authors build suspense. One of the most powerful tools is the cliffhanger, but it's not just about ending chapters with, "and then the door creaked open." It's about timing and pacing throughout the entire narrative.
Absolutely. Authors manipulate time and sequence to control tension. They might use chronological order to build steady momentum, or they might jump around in time, using flashbacks or flash forwards to reveal information at just the right moment for maximum impact.
I love how some authors use what's called free indirect speech to get inside characters' heads. Instead of writing, "Sarah thought she was in trouble," they might write, "She was definitely in trouble now." It feels more immediate, like we're experiencing the character's thoughts directly.
That's such a sophisticated technique, and it works because it blurs the line between the narrator's voice and the character's voice. Speaking of sophisticated techniques, let's talk about how authors use sensory imagery to create atmosphere and build suspense.
Oh, this is where it gets really interesting. Authors don't just rely on visual descriptions. They use oral imagery, sounds that make us tense up, like the floorboards groaned under unseen weight, or olfactory imagery, smells that trigger memories or warn of danger.
Yes, and these sensory details often work as symbols too. A recurring smell might represent a character's past trauma, or a particular sound might signal approaching danger. Authors layer these elements to create rich, multi-dimensional experiences.
Let's look at a concrete example. Imagine this sentence: "The door, it's opening." Now compare it to "the door burst open." The first uses ellipsis to create hesitation and dread. We're waiting with the character. The second uses an exclamation point for sudden shock and immediate action.
Brilliant comparison, and notice how the structure changes too. The first sentence fragments the action, making us pause and anticipate. The second delivers everything at once. Authors choose these structures deliberately to control our emotional response.
Another technique I find fascinating is antithesis, using contrasting ideas to create tension. An author might write, "The house was silent, yet somehow screaming." That contradiction makes us uncomfortable because it doesn't make logical sense, but it makes perfect emotional sense.
That's the power of rhetorical devices. Authors also use rhetorical questions to pull us into characters' minds. How had everything gone so wrong? We don't expect an answer. We expect to feel the character's confusion and desperation.
And let's not forget about dialogue tags and how they shape character voice. "She whispered" creates a different atmosphere than "she declared" or "she snapped." These choices tell us about the character's emotional state and personality.
Exactly. Sometimes authors even drop dialogue tags entirely. That's called free direct speech. Just the words and quotation marks, letting the dialogue speak for itself. It can make conversations feel more natural and immediate.
What really amazes me is how all these techniques work together. An author might use short, choppy sentences during an action sequence to mirror a character's racing heartbeat, Then switch to longer, flowing sentences when the character finally feels safe.
That's sentence structure as a storytelling tool. And authors often use repetition strategically too. Repeating a phrase or image can create rhythm, emphasize important themes, or build to a climactic moment.
Here's something students can try. Read your favorite suspenseful scene out loud and pay attention to the punctuation. Notice where the author uses periods for abrupt stops, commas for quick pauses, or dashes for sudden interruptions. Each choice affects the rhythm and tension.
Great advice. And when you're reading, ask yourself, why did the author choose to reveal this information now? Why use this particular word instead of a synonym? Why structure this sentence this way? These questions help you appreciate the craft behind the story.
It's like being a detective, but instead of solving crimes, you're solving the mystery of how authors create such powerful effects with just words on a page.
And once you understand these techniques, you can use them in your own writing. Want to create a mysterious character? Use ellipses and incomplete sentences. Want to build suspense? Control the pacing with sentence length and strategic information reveal.
The best part is that these techniques work across all genres, whether you're reading fantasy, mystery, romance, or science fiction. Authors everywhere use these same fundamental tools to create character voice and build suspense.
So next time you're reading and you find yourself completely absorbed, unable to put the book down, take a moment to appreciate the craftsmanship. Notice how the author has used structure, punctuation, and language to create that irresistible pull.
Thanks for joining us on Literary Lens today. Remember, every punctuation mark, every sentence structure, every word choice is a deliberate decision by the author. Understanding these choices helps us become better readers and better writers.
Until next time, keep reading critically and writing creatively. I'm Maya.
And I'm Jordan. Happy reading, everyone.